Let's give a hand to our fantastic panel. Really incredible insights, really incredible to see folks throughout these past couple of days really help us think deeper about the things we need to be doing together, the opportunities ahead, and what an important opportunity we have that we're in right now, right? We've heard over the past couple of days that we heard Aaron just talk about it right now. Now is the time to be bold. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunities that we have, the alignment of the stars, of the governor, of the state superintendent, of the state leaders in our legislature who care about kids, and that finally that includes early childhood for the first time in terms of our governor, right? And so it's an incredible opportunity to be taken advantage of. It's a window of opportunity, as Aaron said, that will not be there forever. And so this pivotal moment, what are we going to do with it? So over the past couple of days, we've explored opportunities to bring major funding to education, and there's a couple opportunities to do that. We've talked about the exciting master plan that's coming and the opportunity to expand and strengthen our early childhood system. We've talked about the opportunity to bring more cohesion across our systems and our systems of support, and even think beyond the field of education, right? We heard a lot today about like more of the whole child and mental health and those kinds of things. How are we supporting families? We have the opportunity to take education equity to the next level, to design a public education system that is designed for our kids, for our diverse kids, for the culture and languages that they bring to our system, and seeing those as assets. We have the opportunity to break silos and build relationships. We heard how important this is, not just for kids, but we heard that this is important for adults as well, right? We heard the words today, learning, building, and relationships. And so I appreciated also the opportunity to talk about, and particularly for the funding conversation, there's so much that we want and need to do, and it requires a lot more resources. And so how do we continue having this conversation about funding, knowing that there's a couple different approaches, and making sure we stay united to make sure that we absolutely get that funding that we need so we can realize those goals we have, our collective goals for our kids. And so I've been in education my entire career. And it is, as a mom-to-be, that I listen with fresh eyes, and there goes the hormones. It's been fun to have conversations with my husband about the child we will raise. Will he or she be a germaphobe like my husband? Will my child have OCD tendencies that always wants to get rid of clutter like me? We know for sure the baby will be a salsa dancer. We will make sure of that. We kind of think that maybe the baby will be a sleepyhead like its father, because during the ultrasounds we just cannot get it to move. And we talk about our desire to raise an independent, vocal, and opinionated young leader. And we wonder, what will my child need to use his or her voice for? Certainly it will be applied to us, and that will be fun. But really trying to make sure that he or she has the advocacy skills that they need to advocate for themselves, for their community, and to navigate through the world. And so I've been listening and thinking about the experiences of our youth, the voices that we've been hearing through your words as parents, through the very strong leaders we got to hear yesterday, and how they're taking action in their communities to fight for better schools, to fight for more educational equity, to combat racism, to combat poverty. And it's like an extension also of the leadership voices we're hearing from youth on issues like gun control, like police brutality, like climate change. And so while this certainly reflects the kind of leadership skills we want to see in our future leaders, and I find them so powerful and so inspiring, I also lament that they feel the need to take action for the things that we as adults have been thinking about and working on for a really long time. And now as an almost parent, I think about my child in that conversation. Ooh, the hormones are on. And I appreciate that. And so it is my hope that we are about to embark on a journey where we are going to have a very different education system that is reflective of everything that we talked about today. And it's my hope that my child, like your children, will not be outraged to take action, at least not in education. I play out a scenario in my mind where this opinionated, vocal person will hold me accountable for not having done enough. And I also picture, especially being in this room, a scenario where we'll never even have to have that conversation. And so this space, being together, gives me a lot of hope. It gives me a lot of hope about what's possible, all the exciting things, this window of opportunity, what we will do together to make sure we maximize this moment in time. And so we just thank you for being on this journey with us, for partnering, for continuing these conversations. There's nothing more powerful than doing this in person, and that's what I find so powerful about the water cooler. Yes, we call each other, we do Zoom meetings, we show up in small spaces and big spaces, but the opportunity to come together and have these kind of conversations, I think we have to keep doing. And so we invite you to join us at our next water cooler in the spring. We are moving our water cooler from the fall to the spring so that it's in alignment during a time when we're having these very powerful conversations at the same time that our policymakers, both at the state and local levels, are having these conversations in the next budget and legislative cycles. So we invite you to come back. We look forward to seeing you there. We want to remind you that there are conference evaluations. Those are so important to us because it helps us shape our agenda and it helps us make sure we take this conversation to the next level. So please, if you can, before you leave, help us with these evaluations. Many of you asked for PowerPoints and the information that you heard and received here. We will be sending an email that has all that information. And so thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you in the spring. Safe travels home.